Davies in the middle. Checks back against Carter and scores. That is atypical for the Amina Margot.
Quickly gets it back again. Oh, what a goal! Well, that sums up her season. The Gunners are WSL champions.
Good evening and welcome back to Vic Akers Wonderland, episode 24. What can I say? I mean, it's just been a long weekend for us. And yeah, it's not great to be an Arsenal fan right now for me personally. But as always, I am joined by Adam and Matt. Tonight, unfortunately, Adam's visual is not working tonight for our YouTube users. He has better internet connection, so you still get to listen without it, I should say, but you still can listen to his dulcet tones. Adam, how are you?
I feel well. Yeah, I'm trapped. I'm trapped within the confines of my computer. Only my voice may permeate. Yes, for those of you who are keeping on track of the internet dropout sweepstake, hopefully you'll be disappointed tonight, as this is hopefully a workaround that will allow me to actually talk. I know. I had it on. It was. I think we can all agree it was a disappointing weekend, as we'll dive into. However, I think there's also a chance that it's not going to be damaging for our overall season, which is a blessing, I suppose. We should be grateful. So yes, much to discuss there.
No, definitely. And as always, with his pilot headset joining me tonight is also Matt. Matt, how are you?
I'm all right. Yeah, I tell you what, you can tell whether or not it's been a good or bad weekend by the state of what people would say is a beard. Essentially, for those listening audio, usually I'm quite clean shaven. If it's just been a bad weekend or the Arsenal, then it just grows and grows and it just goes unkempt. Don't worry, it'll be trimmed for Friday.
Yeah, did you know what? Is it just me, or is it just strange how the Arsenal affect your mood, whether it's the men's or the women's, or it's both? Because obviously, Matt, I know you don't really watch the men, whereas me and Adam will, and it affects your mood. Is it just weird, or is it just me?
No, I'm the same. I remember years ago when we drew 1-1 in the North London derby away, and Oba missed that late penalty, and I was just, the whole weekend I was just a mental wreck. I think Matt should do. I'll keep my beard until Arsenal win, and just let it grow, and then he'll have a full-on Hagrid.
Technically, but you need to remember, we're going to have our revenge tour next season. Have you seen who's coming back from injury? Yeah, we're going to be dangerous next season.
We are, apart from the players that will still be injured, like our lovely vice captain Leah and our rapid right back V Reuter.
Oh, of course not. But it's also a case of who's coming in through the summer as well. Personally, I think we should be making those signings now. Like a certain other manager over in West London who's already done a lot of business for me personally. But
small club from Fulham, there's just rumours are they're going to sign Ashley Lawrence. So that's the thing. But someone was mentioning this and saying, that Chelsea can't sign every player in the world, and quality players out there, and I'm sure the club will, as they do every season, are working hard behind the scenes to get the players in. We just have to be patient. Something I think many football fans aren't.
Don't you just mean Arsenal fans? We are not patient at all. We are just not patient. I know I'm not. I hate transfer windows. You won't hear me talking about them over the summer. Over Twitter and social media, I will look, but I will not say a word. I can't cope with the drama.
Absolutely.
Okay, I think Adam's audio has gone a bit squiggly. Matt, what are your thoughts on the transfers over the summer and the potential of it? Are you one to love the drama and be glued to it, or are you just as silent as I am?
It's not that. I think it's just a case of trying to sit back and take everything all in. I mean, we're being linked with all the same names: Russo, Signa Bruin again. Chloe Lacasse again. So it's not like things are happening, but there's potential of we definitely know a striker's coming through the door. It's a case of who. There's also the potential of what's going to happen with our squad. As I worked it out, as there's potential, we already have a squad of 25, 26. So already it's a huge squad. But if you take away players that we're missing, that we're going to miss, so Manuel Iwabuchi's on her contract's finishing, so I imagine she's moving away. You've got Fran Stenson also on the contract. I'd imagine she'd be moving away. We still don't know what's happening with Jen as well. I would imagine that that's probably going on at the moment. You've probably got a few more contract agreements. We probably know as well that Viv has got a year extension as well. So there's things like that they haven't mentioned, but will perhaps mention after the season is done, just before, because essentially they've got a 6-week window before the international start up. I believe it's the 24th of June that they're being called up by. So essentially we've got about less than a month.
That 6 weeks, 4 to 6 weeks grace period to adjust to the climate. Now the thing is, it shouldn't be too warm because it's the Australian New Zealand winter, and it's reasonably average temperatures, whichever that is over there. Unfortunately, I'm not 100% sure. Go on, Adam. Oh, he's back.
A little bit, a bit of transfer stuff. So Tim Stillman did drop in the recent podcast that's just come out about he's in a chat with Clive Palmer about the Arsenal women's on their Patreon. Somebody listened to it, just messaged me, and I need to listen to the podcast myself. But Tim dropped that they are working on a number 9, and it's a biggie. That's all he can say. Oof. So I know that's what he dropped.
That makes me happy. That makes me very, very happy.
But things are happening. Just also to say that a lot of the stuff that's been linked at the moment is between WSL and rival leagues. In terms of WSL to WSL, nothing can really happen until the season ends. So any inter-club transfers, we've got an idea. Yeah, we all know who we want. Can't happen until June. So you won't hear anything that related until June after the season ends. But yeah, Arsenal are looking. But these things are tricky.
The difference will be this time around, though. I think Adam will probably say the same. Is that over the last 2 Januaries, we've spent more time looking for players in those windows than we have throughout the summer. So this time around, it needs to be, because of the injuries we've got, there'll probably be more attention in the summer windows than there will be in the January windows because of the players coming back. You'd imagine come the end of the season, we'll have both Leah and Laura both playing for us that second part of the season. So it might be a case of seeing what happens. Again, there's so many scenarios. If keep me notes and everything now. So apologies if you're watching on YouTube, but
the thing is, there's no. Sorry, Matt. I was just saying, there's no question that the last 2 summer windows have been rubbish. I would say the only gem we've had out of the 2 windows has been Frida. The rest of the players have either departed or gone alone or going to depart, or have not really properly settled this season. The winter signings, on the other hand, I think we can agree have been pretty much a roaring success. Some have taken a little bit longer to settle than others. Some have a bit of potential still, but most of them are pretty good. So hopefully they can bring that winter mentality to this window, because we absolutely need it, as you say, because of the injuries.
Yeah.
No, 100%.
Bearing in mind that Gio as well was brought in the summer. She went over on loan to Everton, obviously still carrying an injury and things like that. Things like that we can accept. Lena Hurtig, a lot of people are saying maybe she might be out the window, but we honestly we genuinely do not know, because to be honest, I would be tempted to turn around. I know this sounds a bit odd, but I would be, if I was to ask for a rule change, I would turn around to the WSL, the Champions League, the FA Cup, and whatever the Conti Cup competitions. Instead of just saying that you can have the 18 travelling, you can name up to 28 players, and essentially the only reason you have the 28 is if you have players out for more than 6 months. So the Leah, the Viv, Beth, things like that, where some of that came into play this season, it was almost like, right, we can go out and make sure that Gio is registered for the Champions League and things like that, isn't it? Whereas it's not a problem come next season. And there is a stunned silence in the podcast, ladies and gentlemen.
No, sorry,
I
am
do
here.
apologise, guys. Give me a couple of seconds. I will be back in another second. 2 seconds.
Okay, Matt, it's just you and my invisible voice, so we'll have to.
This is going to be fun.
You and your dulcet tones, eh? That wasn't very great. Sorry.
I'll keep you my charisma.
Go on, Adam. You were making your point.
In other news, Freya Grogfrey has signed her first professional contract with the Arsenal.
Yes,
which is great. We've seen a few glimpses of her, but we can't, as Adam said previously, we can't really judge her on that. If I'm honest with you,
I will just say, just on that, sorry, Adam, but she has been really amazing with the fans. At Everton, she was taking a lot of time for the fans, and that was great to see. I'll just stop there because there were so many people there, the little kids and everything that she was taking photos with and signing things. But I'll let Adam go on.
No, just going to say we haven't seen much of it. I mean, I think she had a few chances in that Everton game because she got a bit more time. I wish she may take one of them because, as with all these players, it's important to get off the mark as quick as you can. I mean, obviously, Adjumang had her goal in the FA Cup. I think one of the reasons Hurtig has struggled is she hasn't got a WSL goal to her name yet. She's only got, I think it's 3 goals, 2 in the Champions League and 1 against Leeds. So I hopefully likes of Adjumang and Godfrey, as it say it was.
Yeah.
They can have a big part to play next season. We'll need them obviously with the injuries, and if they can get off the mark on the WSL nice and early, that'll give them a huge bout of confidence going forward. And the other one is it Goldie, wasn't it? The other one,
Taya Goldie, yeah.
Taya Goldie. That's why I'm crossing the streams there. That's another one I think he's one for the future to look out for. So I think it's also good that we're actually seeing us bleed youngsters in because a lot of the time the youngsters are just simply bench fillers because we've got so many injuries. But it's good that Jonas is actually saying, no, you're going to have a go today. You're going to play and have an impact. And I can't wait to see what else potentially is on the way. We don't want to see our best players being signed by Manchester City and then being loaned out to Leicester City because they're not being used at all. We want to actually see our graduates perform for us.
Almost like the Rathjon situation at Villa, which I think is another issue coming further on. But Freya was on a dual line with Ipswich throughout the season, so that's helped her out quite a lot, playing just below the Championship. It's helping her get more experience, and I think it's between us and I think it's the German league where we have the dual loan system, which helps benefit the younger players compared to everywhere else.
Yeah.
No, definitely. I do find that really interesting because obviously nobody else really does it, do they? So, yeah. But in other news, Vivian Meadow is back up and running in the anti-gravity chamber machine.
She can walk again. She walks.
No, she runs. She runs, but
in a special team.
Yeah, but it's 6 years today since we signed off from Bayern Munich. I think for me, one of my favourite moments from Viv was probably a bit of defending at the North London derby. It's not like her to get stuck in with the defending especially on the line. And it was just a brilliant piece to do over in the Emirates. But I am going to ask you both, what is your favourite Miedema moment?
I'm sure Adam's got loads.
And only one because I know Adam likes to list favourite moments. You can only choose one.
Because of a minute, I just wanted. There's a picture of Viv crossed, unimpressed because we know she doesn't celebrate, which is very funny, very meaningful. Just a snapshot of just everything that summarises Vivian Miedema. Goal wise, I mean, I'm going for a next one. go for Matt because I'm already going to pinch Matt. So Matt, you go next, and I'll bring up some big moments later. I don't want to pinch one of Matt's ones.
No, oddly enough, you mentioned that. I'm just thinking about every time they do the team photo, she looks so miserable, and like that's now carried on where Leah's now the miserable one, or considered the parent of the half these.
I've always called it a resting bitch face. Like, you don't mess with me, I'm ready to take you on. Whereas Viv is very solemn and calm. Whereas Leah's like, I'm up for a fight here. Let's do it. Do you know what I mean? That's the vibe I get from them.
Yeah.
Honestly,
sorry, Adam. Go on.
I was going to say shout out for a double hat trick against Bristol.
Yeah, that's a good shout. I will just make a memorable mention over the Slavia Prague. The fact that was her 100th goal. They pissed it, basically trying to keep it PG. They really annoyed her. One of the defenders made her a horrific challenge, and she nearly injured herself. And she just went, right, okay, if you can treat me like that, I'm going to score three goals now. And she was happy. It was just a bit of a shame that she wasn't able to celebrate it as much as others would. But my favourite moment has to be the North London derby, going to the Hive last season, and she does this thing where she is a big game player. Let's not put it wrong. She goes and scores the header, and the first thing she does is points her head and just says, "We need to focus now. Let's try and get this second goal."
Definitely. I mean, she does that quite on a regular basis. It's been a bit of a weird season without her. Because when you think of Arsenal, you think of big players like Viv, you think of Kimmy Little, you think of Beth Mead at the moment, especially with their form. And it's just been a really weird season. We're depleted. We're on our knees. We are crawling across that finish line now, for me personally. And the weekend's scoreline was a reflection of that for me, to be honest with you. But the North London derby, what am I talking about? WSL results over the weekend. Tottenham won 4-1 at Reading, at home to Reading, at White Hart Lane, believe it or not.
That was a bizarre
obviously,
situation.
Yeah. Chelsea beat us 2-0 down at Kings Meadow. Everton beat Brighton 2-1. Aston Villa and Liverpool were 3-3. Leicester lost 2-1 at home to West Ham. Man United clinched a win against Man City at 2-1, which has done us a bit of a favour, let's be serious.
I'm still annoyed about that. So.
Yeah, I know, but it is what it is at this point. It's out of our control. I mean, they win a local derby and Skinner's sitting there like, "Sal, great, what can you do?" Do you know what I mean? He's never positive about his team.
You know what's so funny? Both sets
me.
of fans have like a huge majority of their fans that do not like their managers. Gareth Taylor more so because of the fact that he's isolated a lot of the squad. They've let some key squad players go, Lucy Bronze, Kira Walsh, etc. But there are other players that he's upset and things like that come about. So, and you're giving him an extension that's just come out this week. Everyone's just looking at it. If you're a neutral and you're just standing there, just or Charlie Nicholas sitting there wondering why is he still there? If it just kind of shows you now there is no ambition at Man City, so it makes you wonder: are the big heavy hitters? So Ellie Roebuck, who did get sent off in that game against United, she's got her contract coming up. You've got other players like Lauren Hemp's going to have a year on her contract left. Chloe Kelly will be probably well sought after the World Cup as well. So imagine even Bunny Shaw might be looked at a little bit even more by other clubs. So I imagine that if they miss out, we'll talk about this more on Friday, but if they do miss out on Champions League football, what's keeping them at the club? Because for me, I don't see a manager there that is as good as Nick Cushing, who was originally their manager. He did a really good job. He also helped them towards their first title, but they haven't pushed on. And since then, it has fallen apart. Whereas you look at
they haven't pushed on. They haven't even got out the qualifying. So it's all well saying, "Oh, we're going to get it," but they don't get out qualifying. So it's kind of
pointless.
What's the point?
You look
Yeah,
at
exactly.
United as
We'll
well.
look into that more on Friday.
United's just like a lot of their fans. Half of them don't even like their manager, and because people are just
They
pointing that
don't, and
out.
they have good reasons to why. So
But Man
when you
City,
speak to the odd sensible one, you understand why.
Man City, well, sorry, I've just come back in. Both Manchester clubs are. It's a weird one because so Gareth Taylor, he's taken a Man City team that was always second in the league. It was always Chelsea first, Man City second, and Arsenal third or floating about. And then they went second to third, and looks like they're going to be fourth unless something biblical happens this season. There's a continual deterioration. Players are leaving in their droves. We had a mass exodus in the summer of English talent who either went to clubs, went abroad, or retired. So there's clear disharmony. We can assume from looking on the outside in that there's a not people don't want to be there, but they're a club who've probably got the best backing financially and the best facilities. They've got a brilliant stadium, the Academy Stadium, so good they used it in the Euros, and you just think what is the difference there? And the rumours are that Gareth Taylor's going to get a contract extension of another year, which is great for us Arsenal fans. I'm all for it. But for those at Man City persuasion, it's like, well, where's the ambition? And Man United, again, Mark Skinner, for me, he's an average manager who's just suddenly found himself in a club that is a big name. And he's got incredibly lucky because his players he's been able to pick a consistent starting 11 the whole season. His players haven't been injured. And he's found himself in a title tussle with Chelsea, a bit like how Gareth Taylor's Man City was a few seasons ago, where they were an Ankatchenberger last minute save away from actually beating Chelsea and potentially win the title. And of course, he can't believe his luck because he's just learned, if I just pick the same 11 every game, we'll get into Champions League and could tussle for the title. He was actually asked after the game, but you got all these great players on the bench. Why don't you use them? I said, yeah, well, these players are great, and if you go to Champions League, they'll get their time in those games. And you just think, have you not heard of the word rotation? Look at our team. We've been dropping players in and out all season because.
But there's also a case of there's certain managers that don't rotate. I mean, make it make sense. Own a battle on the bench for most of the season.
Yeah,
make it make sense.
I know
she's an absolute baller.
And the rumours are she's going to potentially extend another year. People were saying that was a rumour. I think Graham Falk was saying on Twitter that was one of the, or someone was, I think, it was Tom Gary, but it definitely came up my feed that players taking around.
Yeah, I'm sure I read somewhere that Barcelona were looking at her as well.
Yeah,
it wouldn't surprise me if she does go off to Spain. If I'm honest with you, she wants Champions League football. She wants a chance to actually win it.
Yeah,
that does surprise me as well, though, because Lucy Bronze is a really good player. And okay, you want two decent right backs. You look at us. We have Laura and Noelle, who are essentially one's better than the other. Laura's become more consistent, but Noelle is misconsistent. She'll give you those 8 out of 10s each week. But between Lucy and Ona Batil, I still don't see Ona Batil as that player that I would have as my right back at the moment, compared if she was to be at Arsenal, but for 6 months potentially. There's
but the thing is, the difference with Arsenal is we rotate regularly. She's not getting that rotation at Man United, and that's the problem. I think I've seen someone put a spreadsheet out.
That Champions League.
How many minutes? Yeah, the Champions League is going to change everything. And personally, a lot of people don't think they're going to get from what actually, as I said, sensible fans don't see them getting out of qualifying. Some say get to group stages and get battered. Whereas you've got other fans, we'll win it in 4 and 5 years. And you sit there and think, hang on a minute, you might have beaten a depleted Arsenal twice this season. You've never beat Man United. How do you expect to compete with the likes of the German teams, the French teams, and the Spanish teams? It's not going to happen.
Just to put this into perspective, United could face in the Champions side of the draw, they could face Wolfsburg, PSG, Real Madrid, Sparta Prague, or Hacken. Now, most of those teams have already had Champions League football before, and they will push them.
Yeah.
Wolfsburg are, although depending whether or not they win the Champions League or Bayern go and win the Frauen Bundesliga this weekend, it could cause a little bit more of that to change. And also it's just gonna it's a different level, and I think a lot of those players are not ready for it.
No, I don't
I
think they are, to be
I hope
honest.
but I hope they get in the group stage. I do hope they get into the group stage because that will push their squad. Because if you think about one of the benefits Man United have been in this season, they've been while we've been in the Champions League group stage, they've been in the Conti Cup group stage. So whilst we're travelling away to Lyon or winning 5-1, they've been going away to Durham and losing on penalties. But that their squad has not been. It's true, but their squad has not been was pushed. Their squad was not pushed. They actually went out of the group at the group stage. They didn't even get through into the knockout rounds. But they
But
didn't.
the thing is, if you can't do that, if you can't beat Durham, no offense to Durham, I know they're probably only a part-time team. How do you
They're
expect
actually a
to
full-time
compete?
team.
Are they?
They're
I don't
very
know.
similar
So,
to Lewis in their play. They're pretty much, but not Lewis. Sorry, London City Lionesses. Sorry, go on.
LCL. Yeah, my point is I hope they get there because that team will because they won't be able to play the lesser teams. They'll have to go full strength on both fronts. So if Mark Skinner does his way, he'll just play because he'll be so scared of mixing up. He'll just play the same team for both, and that team will get wiped out physically, mentally, and they'll get turned over. If they get in a group of Barcelona, they'll get rinsed. And what will be interesting is wherever they play the games, are they going to be bold and put them in the Old Trafford, or are they going to be we'll stick him at the just don't trust ourselves to go to Old Trafford and beat I don't know Zurich at home. They won't want to risk it. I'll be intrigued to see what direction the club take. But I think if they did get to the group stage, they're not getting out of it, and I think they could get a nice slice of humble pie. Should that happen, and I think the second half of the season it will do a lot of damage to their squad because their league form will suffer because of it.
no, I totally agree. I was hoping to save all that chat for Friday, but okay. Anyway, back to the WSL and that awful bloody loss against Chelsea. Guro Reiten scored in the 22nd minute, and Magdalena Eriksson scores her final goal at Kings Meadow as she's leaving in the summer, and it had to be against us. Matt, what did you think of the game overall?
I'm just quickly going to rifle these off for Gora Reiten's goal. If you don't see it, just go back and see Sam Kerr. She's actually holding on to Noel Moritz, so she can't go back and either try and get the header away or to go across to block Reiten. So essentially, it's a foul in the build-up. I'm not blaming the referees. I'm not blaming anyone. I just think it's just find it a bit bizarre that you've got an official on the lines. Probably you've got bodies everywhere, so okay, you probably can't see that. But positioning for a referee, I don't know if she's seen it or not. If she's missed it, okay, fair enough. Hands up, okay, whatever. I'm fed up of talking about referees and the fact that they're not full-time professionionals.
And they're not good enough.
It's just it was just ridiculous. I've said Mia Eriksson. Mia Eriksson is actually the journalist. So Magda Eriksson's goal, it was just quite simple as miscommunication in the box. At one point, Manu thought she was coming for it. Then I think it was Lottie didn't know what to do, so she left it, and Magda just managed to tap it into an empty goal. Honestly, I was actually managed to count just quickly on the referees. I counted how many times Lauren James had made a foul before she was eventually booked. She wasn't booked in the end, by the way. I counted 3 times she had a foul, no card. One time she was pretty much hugging. I think it was Katie McCabe. I will be probably 100% wrong on that. She was holding one of our
players. You could be wrong. I think Katie would have punched Lottie, shoved her one if it had, and we'd all have seen it, and then she would have got a card. To be fair.
Either way, Lauren James was literally holding one of our players back, and the referee didn't even give a card. It's just Katie stamps on someone, and it was an instant yellow card. It was just like it just felt.
The thing is, it's her reputation that plays against her. It's the same with Granit Xhaka in the men's team, although he's had a superb season. I will give him that. It's his reputation, and unfortunately, the game is changing. And I hate to say it, but the way she plays is not. It's recognised already as it's not welcome anymore. That old school type player, it's just not welcome. As much as we love it as a fan base, it's just how it is. I mean, it phased out of men's football very quickly, and it's now hitting the women's as the game grows. I mean, Matt, if we had Liam Williamson, which is fully fit, would Guru Wrighton's goal have went in? I don't think it would.
It's difficult as to say, really, because you'd probably expect maybe a little bit more organisation. Obviously, Lotta's not naturally going to be having that armband. I'd probably imagine when she, in a couple of years' time, like she'll be higher up in that leadership role. But at this current moment in time, hasn't got that experience yet. Just as well, she got a yellow card for nothing as well. It might have just been that she backchatted to the referee, and that was why she got a yellow card, which was originally given to Sam Kerr. So and the only other point I've got is our penalty was dragged wide, and I just felt at the moment, you could tell the fatigue of the Everton game was almost like we've had our run. It kind of felt like we felt on Friday, really, that this game was basically just it doesn't really matter. And then you've got United fans having a go at us for not doing them a job earlier on in the day. And it's just like, well, what happened when the last day of the season when we needed you to go to Chelsea and get something, and you needed to get into the Champions League? You didn't bother turning up. You turned up.
The thing is, they've never beat them anyway, so it doesn't make a difference whether we beat them 4 times. They've beat us 4 times, and I think once was a draw. And then the last 9 meetings, do you know what I mean? So they can.
I'm not having a go at United.
Smoke all they like, but some of their fans are generally crazy.
I'm not having a go at United. It's just you're asking for people to give you favours, and you can. Nothing. You never get favours in the league. It is ruthless.
You never. No, you don't get any favours at all. I mean,
essentially, just like, I know we're not
ruthlessness. You're referring to is we got playing them twice. We got 2 ACLs playing them twice. Call it bad luck. Call it poor pitch. Call it bad tackle. I mean, how Beth Mead was first, then Leah Williamson, and it's like, great. I don't like playing Man United anymore. Do you know what I mean? Adam, what did you make of the game?
Yeah, I thought I would just let Matt vent because he's been well cheesed off, especially with the rest. I thought it was a game of 2 halves, as most games are nowadays. Chelsea, I thought, were brilliant in the first half. Let's just say it how it is. In the first half, Chelsea were the better side. They pressed us, they harried us. We tried to play the ball. The turnovers, they kept recycling, looking back to goal. Scored. Okay, let's take this. It was a great goal, really good volley. I think was when it was crossed to the taker slipped, which always for me is a sign that something might actually. I know it sounds stupid, but the amount of times I see players when they cross it, they slip and fall over, actually becomes a really good cross. And when it went in like that, I thought, we could be in trouble here. I know you said I think Sam Kerr handled Moritz. I thought that Moritz simply lost her at the back post. I thought that the technique that Wrighton showed it was almost like a scissor volley across Manu, who was completely wrong-footed, and he goes, fair enough. That goal was in the post. Whatever the issues maybe referee-wise, Chelsea fully deserved to lead. We did, I think, one chance on the counter, which Dina had. And I saw the ball go onto her, and just thought, shoot, take the shot, and she just took that one extra touch. And it's like when you're playing FIFA and you've got a 1v1, and you know when you want to press circle to take the shot, and it's really annoying when you press circle, the keeper rushes out and claims it, and you realise, I left it one frame too long. And I just felt that with Stina, she just took that shot 1 second too late, and it gave Berger the chance to block it. And then second goal. Silly set piece, Ford trying to play out, loses the ball, takes it back, makes the foul. It's out of frustration. And fair play to Magda. Goal. She's a legend, captain for the club. She's off along with Harder, and she gave so nice to go home with the club with. As for that lot of booking, it was a booking. There was a together with her and Kerr, and she basically bodied Kerr to the floor. And when there was a thing about Kerr being booked, I looked at it instantly and thought, no, that's a foul by Lotta. She's actually fouled, and that's a yellow card, and it rightly was. Second half, obviously, Jonas made some changes, brought Catley on for Mollakul, who again blew hot on cold, some nice touches, but was guilty of giving the ball away a lot. Catley came on, moved McCabe over to things like an inside 10, Catley became the left wing. I've always said the best left wing is Catley and Ford, the two so well, which makes sense because obviously they played for both for the Australian national team. I thought that really worked, and the chances, we had such good chances in that second half. Palova with some amazing work on the right, really low cross forward. She just has to side foot it. The keeper's not the question. It's an open goal. It's a tapping. You just in and she pulled it onto the crossbar. The McKay penalty, again, tends to keep it the wrong way, just sliced it wide. I do wonder. I said at the Leicester game when McKay took that penalty and she got it saved, and I said that was almost like a mental reflection of the club. And you hit on it as well, Matt, with you think sort of exhaustion. But my feeling was that moment, I do wonder if there's a mental block. There's a mental block with the team. If they genuinely think they can actually score at Kings Meadow, because we saw them pass up such good chances in the first half in the FA Cup. We haven't scored in the league there since Van der Donk in 2019. We've only managed one other goal, and that was in the Conti Cup in a 4-1 loss, although it was a Ford Worldie. That, before that Van der Donk goal, we scored 7 goals in 2 games at Kings Meadow. Since then, we've only managed 2 in all the games we've played. We've had, and the last 3 seasons, we've come away there without scoring at all. So I do wonder if it's like a mentality thing, whether they doubt they or I know. But part of me also felt that, as Matt said, alluded to, a bit of revenge for last season. Not giving Man United the result they needed, and I was worried in the second half that Chelsea would really put our resurgence was the fact that Chelsea thought it's 2-0. We'll go into lockdown and see the result out as we see them do before. A 2-0 result, loss at Chelsea, in the grand scheme of things, is not a bad result because obviously Man City failed to capitalise, which is quite funny. And I think we can say, given our situation, given the injuries, I'm not overly emotionally worried about it. For me, it's an annoyance rather than a disaster. And we go into the game against Aston Villa fully in control of our destiny. And I think, given our injury situation, I think we can all be rather happy with that.
No, definitely. I mean, Adam, as always, you're spot on. Got another question, another question for you guys. So we've had a lot of injuries this season. Obviously, we won't see the likes of Laura and Leah Williamson come back until later the second half of the season. But say if we didn't get any transfers in, can we still challenge with the players that we have?
No.
That's a simple answer.
It's simply because of the players came back from injury, won't be fully operational up to fitness. Look at Viv last season. She came back from COVID at the Euros and wasn't right, and for much of that season. And by the time she did get right, she did her ACL and she was back out again. Just because you come back from injury doesn't mean you're fully fit, ready to go. It can take weeks, months to really get up to speed of the game. And in the end, you can still be victim to recurrences of that injury. We need numbers, especially with a Champions League campaign that's going to start if we qualify. Put that caveat in: if we qualify, as we hope, we'll be going into the pre-qualified tournaments. We need the numbers. It will be a long season, 2 weeks after the World Cup. So no, with our team at the moment, we are short, especially as what Matt also mentioned. There are some players potentially leaving, like Iwabuchi. I think we can agree is going out the door.
100%. I think I saw a picture of her the other day and didn't recognise her. Her hair's got really long. I was like, oh my god. But the thing is, one thing I don't understand is, you look at that Tottenham team, right? They're starting 11th in the weekend. You look at that bench and you see, why is all that talent on the bench? Why is it not starting?
Because like the ownership, they're being mismanaged. Also, shout out for all the Spurs fans who departed and fled the stadium before a Spurs team actually won a game at the Toilet Bowl, which was very, very, very funny. But yeah, it is a mismanage. Not that we should be, complaining.
To be honest, let's be serious. Beth England has dragged them the second half of the season with the skin of her teeth.
It's telling
to get them over the line.
It's telling that she's their player of the season and she's only been there for half a season.
That's a bit of a red flag, don't you think?
That's a red flag, and
but it's also another red flag when one of the owners comes up and says, "Yeah, I'm not investing in my team. We should have an NWSL format." I'm like, "Please shut up."
You know what? I find it so odd. You look at someone like a West Ham who haven't had a home game at the London Stadium all season. You look at Tottenham not investing in their team. You probably look at maybe some of these other clubs that aren't investing in the league at the moment, and they are probably bottom half. I mean, Leicester are just about staying in the league again. There's 3 teams there that almost seem to be. Okay, fair enough. Leicester. This is the second time they've been close to being relegated. There's a chance that they could be relegated come Saturday. It just stinks of, well, you've reached the top now. That's it. It doesn't. I don't see where you're going on from it. You look at someone like an Aston Villa, who a couple of times they were up and down in the league. They got promoted. They were near relegation towards that start of the season, but they've just kicked on this season. Now look at them; they're now 4th in the 10 points away from 4th, which is incredible. And you wouldn't think about it, but we do need these players and teams to be out there and make this league a little bit more competitive. I imagine Bristol City will come in next season. Whoever they replace, they'll make sure that they buy top quality players. They might end up looking at a Ruby Mace. They might look at Litzig, who's currently both on loan at Leicester. Ruby Mace got suspended at the weekend. It just is going to be about how you stay up now and how much money you put into these teams, because it's just ridiculous that teams are getting away with it and almost without spending, because they know all they need is a couple of points to stay up. Essentially, last season I believe it was 13 points. This season it's a little bit higher with 14, but still it's a huge gap considering the fact that this is the second season in a row that over 50 points has potentially got you the title.
Oh, definitely. I think it doesn't help when we've only got 11 home and away games a season. So I don't think that necessarily helps. So no, I get where you're coming from.
The problem is there's no threat of relegation. I mean, obviously there is. Which sounds counterintuitive, but there's only one spot for relegation. You know for a fact that if you win about 3 games, you can put your sandals on, lie on a deck chair, light a cigar, and wait for the next season, and wait for the money to roll in. You do question the ambitions of the likes of Spurs, the likes of West Ham. West Ham got to an FA Cup final a few years ago. Lost obviously, but they got to. That was a real, fair play to them. They got all the way to the final. You think, what is the ambition? What's the direction? West Ham, I think they actually won a match. They actually beat Leicester. It's their first win this year in WSL. Where's the ambition? Spurs, where's the ambition? What do they just want a team that's going to middle in the league, or do they want to push up? The reason why Chelsea get away and just win the league every time is that there are not enough teams that want to drag them down amongst them. Every time it's the big ones, it's low block, defensive. Aston Villa are the only team outside the top 4 who have actually shown ambition in those matches, and they've managed to get a win at home against Man City and go to Man City and draw 1-1, and push Man United all the way into time. Some of the best matches this season have been Aston Villa matches against the big sides. They may not have won them all.
Yeah, no, they may not have won them all, but we're definitely in for a juicy one up on the Saturday, but we will talk about that more on Friday with the next episode. Yeah. But I've got a little pop quiz for you guys, actually. I thought we'd do something different. It's only 3 questions, because 2 of them are quite fairly big. So, who are our top 5 goal scorers this season, and what are their numbers for this season?
Adam's going to roll this off with her on top of the tongue.
Right, you can choose who goes first between you two. I've got the answers in front of me, so I'm not going to take part.
The problem is the top scorers is the top players who would be the top scorers have been injured for most of the season, so we are limited. So the I know, unless it got. Well, I mean, I'm thinking like the top scorers got ACL. This is the
top 5.
Top 5. Top 5. Wow. My early punt is going to be Frida Liata Mornham.
Second, yeah.
Second.
Are these? Yeah. I should make a note. Is this just WSL or is this all competitions?
This is just WSL on its
Oh,
own.
right. Okay.
Right.
Okay. That changes things.
Yeah, I was going to say
Uh,
because there was goals you could have pulled in there. Yeah. Yes, just a second, Matt. You have a go, Matt.
Yeah. See, I would have put Kim Little in because the fact that she did score a couple of goals earlier on, especially the penalties and things like
How
that.
many?
I believe she's got 10 goals across all competitions and then 6 assists. So I would say that she's got 8 in the league. Is that right?
7, and she is
so
ranked
close.
4th.
Okay, so we got. She was a fourth, was she?
Yeah, she's ranked 4th, so we've got to find
I'm
first,
going to go top
third,
scorer.
and 5th.
Top scorer, Stina Baxtenius.
How many goals?
I'm going to go 11.
Well, you're right on Blackstenius, but she's scored 17 league goals this season.
Yes, I was gonna go a bit higher than that.
So we've got 3rd and 5th now. Who are you going to go for, Matt? And how many goals?
She does this all the time. Caitlin Ford.
Yeah, she's got to
Where?
be up there.
I would say she would have 9 goals.
Okay,
I think she's 5th highest.
5th or 3rd are we looking at?
I'm going 5th.
Yeah, hold on. Did you say? Yeah, at the moment she'll probably be on 6. So yeah, maybe 5th. She's 3rd.
She's 3rd. Is she?
She's scored 12, hasn't she?
Yep, she has. She has, and I'm going to really laugh. If you don't get the person who's coming 5th, I'm going to kill myself laughing here. So take a guess, guys. You've got a whole squad to choose from. And it's probably an unlikely answer, to be fair. Well, I was looking it up, and I was like, well.
I've got an idea who it might be, but then I'm trying to think of how many goals they've scored.
I hope none of you were Googling, by the way.
No.
You'll be able
I don't have the bandwidth to Google. I mean, I'll crash this podcast if I dare search it.
Do you know what? I'll put it out there because she did really well at the start. Beth Mead with 6.
She came in 6th, but okay.
Oh.
Good guess.
Ooh.
Good guess. I know that because that's the first thing I looked for on that list.
Yeah, I was going to say Viv, but she got a lot in the European games. She didn't in the league. She struggled and didn't play as much.
Mm-hmm.
The goal against Everton was probably the most if you're looking at the season as a whole. The most crucial one was the game against Everton. The fact that she scored in that game. Because
part of me wants to say maybe Katie McCabe, but then I can't think of many goals she scored apart from the Manchester City goal.
It's not Katie
apart from
McCabe.
that one. No, it's not Katie McCabe.
You two are going to kick yourself when I reveal this.
hold on.
Tell us
Right.
then. And
So let's just rule this out. Leah's got 1. Haffa. Haffa, surely she's up there.
Nope.
Up there?
No.
No.
Nope.
Who scored? No. Okay. Who else scored? I don't think all the other
Leah,
goals.
Laura's scored 1. So
No, they're not the names we're looking for. This is fun.
Yeah, they've all just won.
everything but is what we're looking for.
Yeah, it's not Jordan Nobbs because you got 2 goals. Was off. Not Ibuchi.
So hold on, who's in the midfield?
Not Manu. He's been injured. That's
Frida.
He's actually out.
Frida was in 2nd with 16 goals.
And it's not Miedemar. Is it Miedemar?
It might be. How many
It's
goals?
Miedemar. Let's have a look. I'm going to get 2 against Spurs, and she got another one against Everton. It's not. She's got. I can only think of 3.
Okay, you got half an answer right. How many goals, Matt?
Yeah, 6. I'm
Spot
sure.
on! Yay, we got there.
Did she score a double against Reading on the first day of the opening day of the season?
I think so.
That helps.
I'd have to go and look that up specifically, but it is.
Oh yeah, and then the goal against Reading
with 6 goals.
Yeah.
The 5 we won 5-1 against Reading, didn't we, opening day, and then we beat Reading 1-0 as well. So yeah.
Okay, so the next question for you guys is, who are the top 5 assist queens this season? And I want to know how many assists as well. There is actually one that's in there that really shocked me, actually. But I thought it was rather cool.
Clover.
She is ranked 4th. How many?
In the first half, in the second season, she's managed to Well, I'm going to go yards Cornham again because she takes some corners
You said
sometimes. So she might
pullover. No. You said pullover. How many?
Oh, but she wasn't in the top 3, so I thought we were passing on that one.
No, we're doing top 5.
Okay.
She's ranked 4th, and I asked for how
sorry.
many.
Okay. Sorry.
Audio
Okay, top
listeners,
3.
I am really
Okay,
sorry. Adam needs to clean his ears out. He's not listening.
Yeah, I blend the bandwidth. I'm going to go for Pullover. I'm going to go 6 assists.
Spot on. Well done.
Yes.
Matt's your turn.
All right.
We've got 4th place, so we need 5th, 3rd, 2nd, and 1st.
Steph Catley.
No.
Ooh, no.
Seriously?
As the old TV program would say, a survey says.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
I'll do Katie McCabe.
Yes.
Yeah.
Are you ranking her and how many?
Hold on, he's already said Frida Marlin before that, so technically he's.
I've disregarded that because he wasn't listening. So.
What?
How many have Katie got?
All right. Morning. Well, Matt, you can have that one next time. McCabe.
Go on.
Put McCabe in 3rd.
Mm-hmm. Actually, I should take that back. She is tied with somebody else for 3rd. So how many?
Oh. Okay. More than 6. I'm going to go 8.
That is wrong. How many do you
Okay.
think, Matt?
7.
Still wrong. She's tied
9.
in
Nine.
3rd with Victoria Pullover at 6.
Oh, right. Okay, she's joined that way. Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah. So, okay. So we've got 5th, 2nd, and 1st to choose from.
All right, Matt. Do you want to
What are you going to go for?
I'll try and avoid Frida Marlin, considering she's going to be your next guest. So
I'll choose
just-
something else.
I'm going to go with Beth Mead.
How many?
Ooh, good
She is
shout.
ranked in there.
Oh, I see. The game against United, she did quite well. Against Reading, I'm going to be completely off. I'm going to say 9.
That is a little too high.
Yes.
Adam, do
Yeah.
you want to have a guess?
I think Beth Mead, you're saying.
Yeah.
I think she's 5th,
Yeah, that's right.
and I think she's got probably 5.
Spot on yet again. Okay, so
Okay.
it's down to 1st and 2nd.
Right, I'm going yards and Mornham. Frida yards and Mornham. Right. Okay. So
1st or
it's,
2nd?
I'm gonna go 1st.
Yeah. Okay, how many?
I'm gonna go 10.
Bloody. Are you sure you haven't got this in front of you?
Actually,
You're
if I'm
cheating.
br-
You have to be
I've-
cheating.
I'm not
There's
cheating.
no way you've just got
But-
3 on the bounce.
The other 2 were guesses, but there was just something I think I saw on a tweet somewhere. They were
Yeah.
saying about how great Yards and Mornham's season was, and there was something about I just thought maybe it was 10 assists. It was either that or goals. I couldn't remember which. Honestly, I mean this is incredible. I'm not usually this lucky when it comes to quizzes. But Matt, over to you for the 2nd place.
Who is 2nd and how many?
So just remind me, Victoria Pullover and.
So 1st place we've got Leonards and Mornham. 2nd place we don't know who that is yet. And then 3rd place you've got Kate McCabe and Victoria Pullover, both on 6. And
Right,
Beth
okay.
Mead is 5th.
That's difficult because you could go the Viv route, but then I think that you're nodding there as if to say yeah, that's definitely right, but it's not.
Nope.
Have we mentioned Kim Little? I don't think we've mentioned Kim Little either.
We did mention her in goal scorers,
Goals, but
the
not
7 goals.
assists.
No.
Right. Okay. Then it's back to you, Adam.
I'm gonna go Stephen Blackstenius.
Nope.
No. Okay.
Nope.
Caitlin
No.
Ford, just to.
Yes. How many?
I believe she is on 9.
Perfect. Well done.
Way.
So our top goal scorers in order are Sina Blackstenius with 17, Frida Leonards and Mornan with 16, Ford with 12, Kim Little with 7, and Vivian Meadow with 6. Our top 5 assist queens this season are Frida Leonardson-Mornham with 10 goals, Caitlin Ford with 10 assists, Caitlin Ford with 9 assists, Katie McCabe and Victoria Pelova coming in with both 6 assists each, and Beth Mead has 5. Now for the tough one, and I'm going to ask Matt this one first, and Adam can just quietly think about it. How many different goal scorers have we had this season?
Oh, this is going to be fun. Right, okay, so
it is a double-digit figure.
It might be easier to get a pen and paper and maybe just go through it that way.
You're not allowed to do that. Come on.
So
take a stab.
Right, okay. Is this across all competitions as well?
WSL.
WSL. Right, okay. So we know for a fact Leah's scored 1, Leah's scored 1, Kim scored 1, Frida's scored 1 at the very least. Actually, you know what? I'm just trying to think of players that obviously apart from goalkeepers. I think we're actually oddly enough, I think we're quite high on this list of different goal scorers. I believe it's 18 of the 25 that we've actually registered and scored.
Oh, that's close. That is very close.
Mine was Matt's guess?
18.
18. The thing is, you're better off trying to name players who haven't scored, because Leah Volti scored, Steph Catley scored, the 3 goalkeepers haven't scored, Bob Ritz hasn't scored either. MBT, I don't.
Jen has.
Jen has scored header at City.
No, that was Haffa.
No, there was one that came off Jen Beattie's head and she was dazed. We were talking about it the other week.
Oh, the home game. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay, 19.
Oof, you're so close.
20.
20 squad players have scored this year.
Yes. Well, how big? I think it's like, what is the fifth? Like, is just Goldie, Godfrey? Do they count as squad players?
Say that again.
Do you like sort of like Claire Goldie and they've hardly played, but are they inclusive in squad players?
I'm not 100% sure, but this is what the BBC has given me, so I'm not relying on their information.
No, that's fair enough.
We know how unreliable they are, so you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I just thought that'd be a bit of fun. It was actually quite fun, actually, making your brains work. But boys, thank you for joining me this evening. It has been a blast, as always. And I'd also like to thank everybody who does tune in to us every week and listens to, especially my waffle more so than the boys. Absolutely loving your company. If you do have any questions or you do want to come join us, just drop me a message on Twitter at Lottie_AWC, or even drop Matt or Adam a message. The handles will be under the in the description box. But we will be back on Friday with all the latest on Villa and the final weekend of the WSL. It's been a long road, but we're almost there. So come on, you Gunners.